Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of what do you guys call it? Yeah, the Love Base India. Well, I never thought that it would be a Love Base India, but well, the general idea has always been to show you guys what chess is capable of. How powerful the game is, how it connects people, how it is possible to affect lives or to bring together people by the game of chess. And that was the idea with which I had this first video of Niklesh and Angela, and a lot of people liked their love story and liked how one person from Madhya Pradesh, the other one from Colombia, they came together because of chess. And today we have the second story, and I think equally interesting, if not more. And this is Grandmaster Magesh Chandran and WFM Anuprita Patil. And we are going to have them both on this show in a bit. But before that, let me just welcome all of you here who are joining in. And we will soon begin. So, by the way, one good news I have to share with you while all of you are joining in is that the Chess Base India channel was just verified by YouTube today. So we have now the tick next to our name if you are accessing it through the laptop, and I think it's a great thing. It's a great achievement for all of us. Okay, so let's get it going. Let's invite Magesh and Anuprita, but first I would just like to give a small intro. These are the people who are the actors, or you can say the main main actors of our story today. On the left is Grandmaster Magesh Chandran, one of the biggest talents of Indian chess in the early 2000s. And on the right we have Anuprita Patil, also a fantastic chess player who was rated around 2200 when she was at her peak. And now the two are married and settled, and they are doing some amazing work, but we are going to learn all about that very soon. And so let's welcome Magesh and Anuprita. Hi guys. Hello, hello, hello. I had muted you. Now everyone can hear you.
Sorry.
Hi, Sagar. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Hey, Sagar.
So, guys, today is the day when we reveal your love story. And more specifically, today is the day when we talk about how chess actually brought the two of you together. So excited or nervous?
Well, I don't know. It's been so many years
Yeah.
since we talked about our story.
We had to go back like 9 years and figure out all the details. Okay.
We have to have some disclaimers, I guess,
Yeah.
before to be safe. And I don't know, somehow I don't know how you convinced me to do this right away, but I definitely had second thoughts.
You had second thoughts yesterday when you were making the PowerPoint presentation, yes?
That's right. That's right. I had second thoughts actually when Anu always used to tell me that, we don't take pictures together. And I'm like, no, we always have enough pictures. And yesterday you made me realize that maybe I was wrong.
Yeah. Well, yesterday I told Magesh and Anuprita that you guys should make a small presentation of what we will be showing today to the viewers. And that's what they made. And it's a very, very interesting thing that they have come up with. Guys, so should we get going? I would like to know more about you guys through the presentation and what you have made.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yes, sure.
Okay. So the first picture that you see right now is Magesh on the right and Anuprita on the left. What is this? When is this?
This was during marriage.
This was, during marriage ceremony. So I'm wearing like Maharashtrian attire and he's wearing Tamil. So that one time we matched that.
So
We thought of doing that with the culture. Yeah.
So you guys know that they eventually got married, but to get to this picture actually it took a lot of time, lot of different stories. So we'll begin with uh, this one with Magesh's life, and tell us, Magesh, this is you winning the national championship, yes?
That's right. Yeah, this is my first national championship in Sivakasi. So I guess, yeah, like you said, the story has some twists and turns and interesting stuff. But like I said, maybe I'll start with my disclaimer first. Yeah, the disclaimer is that if I happen to kill the romance or if I do something, I'm still not the villain in the story. Contrary to whatever you may hear today, just remember that I'm a nice guy. Okay. So, okay. So now
I will make sure. I will make sure that at the end I will tell all about the good things that Magesh is doing. But while the story is happening, it's going to be fun to know what you did.
Okay. So yeah, starting with my chess background is that I started playing when I was like seven and a half. And I was actually the first 6 years or so I was playing, and I was competing at the top level, but never really had a breakthrough. My under 16 national sub junior was the first championship that I won, which was in Sivakasi. And all the top players were playing. We had a good group. It's also good to know all of them pretty much went on to become a GM.
Who are they?
Very strong players. In Sivakasi, Kidambi, Neelatpal Das, Surya, Satya, a lot of these, I don't know if they played in that exact tournament, but they're all in our timeline, who all went on to become a GM. Venkatesh, okay. Arun. Arun is actually younger to me. But so, this age, the group, like I said, was really good because everyone went on to become GM, some of them like much stronger too, right? So it was really a good tournament. And this tournament also had a nice thing because it was my very first national championship, right? So after I won this one, I ended up winning 4 other nationals. I won 4 nationals overall. I won under 14, 16, 18, and 19, which was nice to complete that in the later part. But I never won anything early on.
But so becoming national champion
this start the story.
4 times is like a phenomenal achievement.
Thank you. I would say that, okay, there are a lot of players who are, like I said, equally strong and good. I think winning that in the last moment, I don't even know how, part work, part luck, part things coming together, I guess. So, because I remember the frustration of not winning anything for a long time and then winning a few in a few span. So it was fun both ways. Yeah. But that's how I started. Yes. This is how, my career probably took off a little bit, to whatever extent it went to.
So can we say like you were one of the brightest hopes of Indian chess at that point of time? What was it, like 1998 or
this
something?
Should have been this should have been 97 or 8. Unfortunately, the date behind in the picture is blocked. Kameshwaran and Anantharaman sir are both there in this picture, and they're blocking it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
I would guess 97, 98.
Okay. So you were one of the top players, and then we go on to this picture. You are playing against Vishy Anand, yeah?
That's right. Actually, that is of course one of my favorite moments. Most of the chess players who grew up in India would know that. And this was special because they invited 6 players from Tamil Nadu, and they put the top 6 youngsters at that time and arranged a simul with Anand. And of course, I was so nervous. I remember that I was probably going to the bathroom a lot more than playing. So it was me. I don't remember all of them, but yeah, Kidambi and Venkatesh were there in the boys group. And this is me playing towards the end. And Venkatesh is the only one who got a draw. He got a very commendable draw.
Wow. So Anand took on these 6 biggest talents of Indian chess at that point, and I think it was a tough simul for him.
In a clock simul, actually, he did a clock simul. I was very impressed. Of course, even right there, his assessment of what he wants to push and doesn't want to push. I was like, because he would take a draw against Venkatesh in like a middle game position or maybe early middle game position, where I would typically try to outplay one of if someone is lower rated than me, I I would be a lot more, what should I say, overly optimistic about it. But he just decided to concentrate his efforts on the other one. And he said, okay, you played good, draw, good job. And then he beat the rest of us.
Amazing. The chat is saying that if we had to make a biopic on your story, it wouldn't be so difficult to choose who the actor would be. It's very clear that it would be Madhavan.
Oh, wow. Okay, that is, I've not heard that in a long time. I don't know where it, of course, I will take that comparison. I give a big thumbs up for the comparison.
But I also felt so, and I think a lot of people have told you that. Yeah, you look like Madhavan, this famous actor.
I wouldn't say I look like Madhavan. I think I have a smile that kind of resonates people with Madhavan a little bit, I guess.
You also
but
think
whatever
so,
amount
Anuprita?
I was not thinking like that. But after we got married, one of my friend messaged me saying, he looks like Madhavan. And then he told me like he has heard this before. So I was like, okay.
Basically, we convinced her. Yeah.
Brilliant. So you were one of the best players, and here you're playing against Vishy, and you became, I think, the Asian champion also, or you became the Asian medalist at some point.
I won Asian Junior. Actually, there is one interesting thing in this particular simul. Yeah. So at the end of the simul, Vishy was giving a lecture to all of us. So we finished the thing, and then we came back, and then he picked one of the games from, I think it was a national championship that we all played. Hari Krishna was in it, Venkatesh was in it, I was in it, and there was a game that Hari beat Venkatesh to win the nationals. If I remember right, it was in Bikaner or something like that. It was just a tournament amongst us, right? At that time, of course, you don't have the internet, you don't have the live games, so it's just a casual tournament. And sometimes these games get published in, like, in a paper. You have a small column with some interesting games, or of course you have the Chessmate and other books. But Anand picked one of the games that Hari played against Venkatesh in the last round. I still remember the opening and the move to some extent, which is kind of strange. Yeah, because it was a French where Venkatesh would have a knight on f4, like in a typical French advanced structure, and Hari would play g5, and Venki would play knight to h3 instead of going knight to h5. And Anand would analyze that, and I was sitting there wondering, wow, we are like some really small young players, probably, we have nothing, probably not contributing to his level of play or game, but he took the time to look at the game, analyze the game, and come up with, was able to talk about that. And that's the first moment I realized Anand actually follows all the youngsters.
Wow, amazing. And the fact that you are telling this story when we have to know your love story means that you love chess so much.
Well, chess has been a part of our life all over the place. Yeah. So wherever we go for a story, I think it's difficult to separate chess from it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I was actually surprised that he remembered that, because he hardly remembers his own games.
That is true. I have a very selective memory.
Yeah. And so moving on, here we see something completely different. I think you are flanked by people from different countries. I think players from all across the world, or maybe Americans. What is this?
Actually, yeah, this is this is our UT Dallas chess team. So moving on from the nationals to here, I think the story was I basically I was doing really good. I would say really, really good up to a certain point where I had the potential to basically be one of the top, I would say. But at some point, I don't remember the exact year or age, but I would guess maybe around 14 or 15 is when I stagnated a little bit. Actually, about 3 or 4 years, my ratings stayed the exact same. Unfortunately, that actually changed a lot of things in my chess plans. My first FIDE rating was like 2280 or close to 2300. And at that point, it was pretty strong. Maybe 98 or 99 or something like that. And then the next 4 years, it stayed the same. So eventually my goal started dropping a little bit, obviously, because it became very unrealistic for me to really be in the top. And at some point, Kameshwaran's son, Vishweswaran, plays a big role. He had toured US, he had toured Germany, he had toured US, and he actually came to University of Texas at Dallas, and he got some information that they're giving out scholarships and other things. When he came back, he actually talked to Kirambi about it. And he also casually mentioned to me about it. And he was talking to Kirambi and he was asking him to join in. I was actually at that point thinking of taking some kind of an internship with, one of the oil companies. So it got very interesting at that point. And but eventually I just decided my dad convinced me, and because I was really not for going to US, because at that point it meant to me that at least I felt like chess is over. So I might have to study and then go on in a different career. No, I cannot do chess or something like that. But eventually, I really am happy I did it, because I think it added a new perspective in life. And also, I went on to play chess and become a GM when I was doing my college year.
Okay.
So I came to UT Dallas on a chess scholarship. Actually, there is a funny story. I don't know if I should mention that as a part of this story, but I had lots of...
Go on.
Well, I basically had lots of trouble getting the visa and getting to the college, basically, right? I was studying in College of Engineering Guindy in Chennai. I was doing my very first semester when I was going through the scholarship and application process for University of Texas at Dallas. So when I completed this process and I was, got all the visa papers ready, by then, I'm already showing off to my friends saying, I'm going to US, like I'm not here next semester. I'm like, I'm off. Right? I'm walking around with this like great attitude. And then I go to the visa, in less than 60 seconds, I get rejected.
Really?
Like it was less than 60 seconds. It was a shocker, because I had a full scholarship. I was an undergrad school, and I had never heard of anyone who got rejected for an undergraduate scholarship. So I was like, oh my God. So I came out of that place absolutely clueless on what to do. It's like, go back to school here and stuff like that. And so for me in my life, as always, I've noticed, I get the crazy extremes of both sides. So I got rejected out of nowhere, but things moved in my way in a crazy pace. Like, some friends from Dallas helped me talk to the dean of University of Texas at Dallas, the dean, actual undergraduate dean, called the consulate general in Chennai.
Oh, wow.
And set up another appointment for me to get a visa. I was like, okay, both sides of the story are kind of unheard.
So when you went to UTD, were you already an IM at that point, or?
I was an international master. I took the SATs, and then I applied for scholarship as an international master. Actually, now it's gotten much stronger. Every candidate is basically a GM. But when I came in, I was an IM. There were probably 2 or 3 GMs, and the rest were IMs.
So then you went on to become a GM, and you were, I think, a 2600. You also broke into 2600 ELO at that point.
I never actually broke. My peak was like 2590. I really wish I got those.
Yeah, pretty close, close. But you are extremely strong, and so basically you can say that you're sort of from the childhood till this stage, you were completely into chess, but you also became an engineer, over here.
That's right. So UT Dallas had a very excellent chess community. I mean, like we had, like you pointed out, it's not just Americans. We had chess players from all over the world. So we were able to have a great team. We won some collegiate championships. They have a great program even today. So yeah, I got a degree. I finished my bachelor's and my master's. So I did a fast track program. And once I completed the degree, I mean, while I was completing the degree, I was also getting my chess norms completed. So I cannot complain.
Brilliant. And so moving on, we come to Anuprita now, and very, very interesting first picture of Anu here. Well, covering a bit of you are on the left, but you're playing against Swati Ghate, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and then
Pallavi Shah is looking.
Yeah.
Oh, Pallavi Shah.
So,
okay.
Yeah, she's watching the game. Yeah, my story is very simple compared to Magesh's story. I'm from a small town, Sangli, but Sangli, I think every chess player knows Sangli because they do a chess tournament every summer. And I think most of the top players have played there in like open tournament. So I started playing very, very late. I think almost when I was 14, I played my first state championship. And by the time I decided I want to play chess as already, I think like professionally, I think I had already lost playing like chance in all the national championship and age group championship.
So you
So
started to quite
I,
late, yeah?
yeah, very, very late, like almost like 14 or something. Like I started at 12, but I never played any chess tournament or something.
Hmm.
But then I started playing in tournaments like district, then state, national. Under 16 was like the first national, I think.
But clearly the chess
And
culture of Sangli was the reason why you started playing chess, or that was not. I mean, Sangli
not
was the
really.
hub, yeah,
So
of chess of at least
yeah,
in
Sangli was the
Maharashtra.
hub, but I had at least in Maharashtra, yeah. So that is true, but I had no idea about it. So I just learned from my brother, and I played in a school like district level championship. And there was one top player from Sangli who was playing there, and I won against her. And my parents didn't know that I played in a state championship or something because I thought that's like a district or something. I don't know what was exactly it. And I actually started it with a lie because I wanted to play chess, and my teacher asked, "Is there anyone who has played in chess tournament before?" And I just raised my hand and said, "I can play for the school. I have played in tournaments." And I had no idea about tournament, but I went, I played there, I won, and next day my photo came in paper, and then my mom is like, "What did you do in school?" So
Wow.
I was like, "I didn't do anything," and she's like, "Why is your photo in the paper?" So then I told her, "Oh, there was a chess tournament. I played it. I didn't know." And I don't know if everyone knows about Bahusab Padsalgekar.
Of
So he
course.
is the main person behind chess in Sangli and in Maharashtra, I would say. So he came actually to my home. He started looking for our address and he came home and he asked my mom and dad, saying, "Can you please send her to chess class?" And my mom said, "No, no, we Patils don't do anything like chess and all. She's gonna go do engineering or doctor. We don't want it." I remember he came like at least 3 times to my home saying, "Please let her play chess."
Wow.
And finally, my dad said, "Okay, I mean, if she likes it, let her play." And then I started going to Buddhibal, like our academy in Sangli, Nutan Buddhibal Mandal, and then I started preparing chess there.
Wow, wow. So Bhausaheb Padsalgekar played a big role, and I think that's you on the right over there playing. And I so like this entire thing, the chess clocks with NBM written behind it.
And
It
yeah.
reminded Nutan Buddhibal Mandal. It reminds my day of playing in Sangli. This was very nice.
The Russian
And
clock.
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And what is this? Are you
I
playing at
always
some
play.
nationals or what here?
Here, I think so. This is from National B. That's what, because even I didn't see any mention here, but this is definitely not NBM, I guess.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is, I think, National B Hyderabad, probably. So we played one National B. Yeah, I actually put this photo because the person who is playing against me has played a big role in this love story. Otherwise, I mean, without her, we won't be sitting here and giving this interview.
Yeah,
So
this is
I was like,
Sai Mira
okay,
Ravi. Yeah, she is WIM.
yes, I will.
But
Yes.
before we come to that, tell us about your chess growth. Like how strong did you become? And I think you eventually shifted to Pune as well, right?
Yes. So, I mean, in like 2, 3 years, I got like my first rating around like 2100. And then we were thinking what to do. And then my brother moved to Pune for engineering. So we thought, okay, and we have like Swati, right? Swati Ghate. She was also like in Sangli and then she moved to Pune. So I was just talking to her and getting some guidance. So then eventually I decided to move to Pune and I started working with Arun Vaidya. I think all Pune chess players and Maharashtra chess players know him. He's a
Yeah.
great coach. And then like we all were in the one batch. That's it. We started learning chess. And he almost forced me to take arts because he said, "You cannot take science and do chess." So I remember I was like thinking for a long time because I hate reading. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to do this. I don't even commerce he didn't allow me. So I took arts in Ferguson College and I started playing chess. Then I hardly went to college. And that's how it started. So, but by the time I realized that I started playing very late, it was kind of late in my life. Like I was thinking what to do because after a point I realized, okay, it's late starting at 14 and then having a career in chess. And I was trying to see other options. So I was thinking for some time to apply for colleges in US and stuff. So I tried that as well. And when I was like in between deciding all these things, I think that's the first time I saw Magesh. And then I decided to stick to chess. I kept on playing chess instead of leaving. I think that's where it started.
Well, Magesh played an important role, yeah, to keep you glued to chess.
Yes, I was like almost.
Maybe she was destined to achieve a lot more, and I ruined her career. So.
Yeah, possible. Yeah, possible.
Okay. So now we move on to, now that we know you guys well, how you both grew up, and of course how prominent chess played a part in your lives. I think the story moves to Barcelona, in Spain.
That's right. Actually, we met a couple of times before that, I guess. So we met later. We found out that we met in actually Avadi Nationals near Chennai. In I don't know what the year was. It was under 18 nationals. I believe Himanshu Sharma won that nationals for boys. I came in second there, and several years later, we actually, when we were talking about where we played, and we go back and we realized we both actually played in that tournament.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that was the first, probably the known time we remember.
So you both would be somewhere
sure
around 18 years old or something at that point?
Yeah, I think that was my last year and under 18. So we both should have been around last year and under 18. Yeah. So I think that was the known tournament we could go back to. And then we met in 2005 in Minneapolis.
World Open, I think.
In HB Global Challenge. So Anu was there with Swati. I was there, and Hari played a brilliant tournament there.
I remember that.
Either he tied for first or something like that. He played a very good tournament. I was in that tournament too. So we met there briefly. So at this point, we just knew of each other. And then we come to this 2009 trip. I put this picture as because I think this is one of our memorable trips in so many ways.
Nice.
So it was in the picture you see me, Kidambi, Satya, and Arun. We decided to rent an apartment in Barcelona for about 6 months, and then we decided to travel from there. So at that point, mostly people were booking flights going in and out and in and out. And we had this, of course, novel idea to say, oh, why don't we just stay there?
So you rented an apartment and stayed there so that you can play at a stretch many events in Barcelona.
That's right. We probably stayed there for about five months or so.
5 months, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we kind of extended our...
Guys, I came back.
Yeah, you joined in a little bit.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, we found a contact, rented an apartment. And I don't know how we found something. It was like very reasonable. I think it was in the middle of Barcelona. We got something like 700 euros a month or something, which is a steal now that I think of it. And Arun used to joke so much that he thought the person who rented it to us probably killed the owner.
Yes, trust me, that was like a haunted apartment. It's like things in that apartment. I was pretty sure something wrong happened here. There is no way these people got this apartment for 700 euros.
But anyway, so we had a reasonably big apartment with like 3 or 4 bedrooms, and for a very good price. And then we went on. We stayed there. We were playing, and so Anu was connected with my so there are two. So Saimira Ravi was a very extremely close then and even now. Ravi and Saimira, they are a well-connected family. So Saimira and my cousin is also a chess player, Priya. So she's also a pretty known chess player within the field. So they both were traveling in that trip, and Anu and her friends were traveling too, and that's how we were eventually connected, because she needed a place at some point to stay. They had some booking that got cancelled or something like that. So eventually they were seeing if we could help out in staying, right? That's how the connection first happened. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we were going traveling off somewhere else. So we were actually not even going to be in the apartment at that time. So I said, okay, sure, come on, join in, right? So they came in. We had enough rooms, even though it was not the best quality, but we had some old rooms and everything.
Oh, this is you three going on.
I added this one because in this trip we had a very, very funny road trip.
I remember that.
And I wrote a blog about it then, and I thought it has to be part of the story because me, Arun, and Kinambi, we decided to go on a road trip from Spain to France to play in a rapid tournament.
Wow.
And we, of course, decided to rent a car.
Yeah, and
So
you love driving in Europe. Yeah, I know that.
I basically like exploring a little bit there, and so we rented a car, and I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I'll tell you quickly some really silly things we did. So the first silly thing we did is we decided not to buy a GPS because we thought, it's unnecessary. For all the things that we were going to do cross country, we were like, we are chess players, we are smart. We were like, oh, we don't need GPS. And we had this one of those USB internets, right? So we had purchased that in Spain. So what we did is we opened the laptop and opened multiple tabs or windows with the directions up to a certain point and left it open. So we thought, okay, we're just going to follow this and keep driving, right?
Okay.
Just as we cross the border from Spain to France, all those pages go away.
Oh,
So
now you're on your own.
yeah, so we were sitting there like, okay, we have no directions to go anywhere, right? So we somehow figured out a way to get to the tournament, and then we played. Actually, I came in second. Back row was playing there. We go to a very small town in France to play a tournament, and then back row was. So it was a fun tournament. But we finished, and when we came back, we again almost got stranded. It was 6 o'clock in the evening, and we were about to get back, and the sun was going down. And just instead of doing all the important things, we decided to have a leisurely dinner. We were like, we did well, we played a good tournament, we should relax and enjoy. So we were sitting and eating, and the sun is going down, and Kirambi is saying, let's go, we need to fill gas, we need to do other things, we need to get back. And I'm like, oh, it's okay, no big deal. Right? So promptly, once the sun goes down and we get out, and I assume that there are going to be gas stations on the highway or something like that. We almost got stranded in the middle of the highway in somewhere between France and Paris.
Wow.
So, I mean, France and Spain. But eventually we got back. This bonding was, I think, really, really funny for us. And it brought us together. And Satya was not in this trip. Satya was also part of our group very much, but he was not in this particular trip. Yeah.
So when you went on this trip, was it the time when Anuprita and Saimira, they came and stayed in your apartment?
No.
Right after this.
Right after this, I think, yeah.
Yeah. So right after this trip, when we go back, me and Arun had a tournament in England. So we were going to go off to England, and Anu...
And
you were
Kidu was
Sitges.
playing the same tournament as us.
Sitges, right? Yeah. They were all playing in Sitges. So they stayed. So we only had about a couple of days of overlap, because after that, me and Arun, we took off to England. So in those 2 days, of course, I was whatnot. I was teaching her how to cut onions, how to cook. Right, of course. She was being quiet and polite, so she wouldn't talk as much, and I would just use that opportunity.
Yes, of course, because I got a place to stay because of them. So I don't know what happened with our apartment last minute.
But Anuprita, you already started liking him at that point, or that time it was just friendship, or how was it?
No, so what happened is that story goes like way back, because I think Soumya is the first one. So, it's, I think, in every group, in chess group, that they try to find someone to tease you with. So I think it was like way back when Soumya said, we had someone for everyone to tease with, and then they couldn't find someone for me for a long time. And suddenly one day she woke up and she's like, I know who is good for Anu, and she said Magesh Chandran. I'm like, who is Magesh Chandran? Because by the time I started playing chess, I think he was already in US, and we figured out later that only one tournament probably we played together in India. And that, but I was okay with that, because it's like, okay, someone in US, when I'm going to see this person, that's good. So there is no problem in playing tournaments in India. So when I met him in 2005, that's the first time I saw him. And I think Swati and Nisha knew about this. So when he came to room, they were talking to him and looking at me. And I'm like, okay, like what's happening here? So I think 2005, I totally avoided him. So I even remember one incident, I finished game, I came and I saw Magesh in the elevator and I took stairs. I'm like, okay, I don't want to be in any place where, these chess players will see us together and they'll start again.
I have that effect on people.
Yeah. So, it was like long back. And then 2009, when we realized, okay, we don't have an apartment for first tournament, then I think Sai Mira contacted him and asked him. like, can we stay in your apartment? And then she was talking about Magesh all the time, so I was like,
Yeah, I think it's the case very simply that, of course, we have a very strong relationship. Like I was telling you, I've been playing with, Ravi and Meera, like when I was very, very young. So I used to go to their house and play and everything. And we have a nice bond. So basically, I think the story starts and ends maybe there in my general opinion is that Saimiraka basically convinced her that I was great.
Yeah, so she told me like so many stories. And then I was traveling with Chinmay, Abhishek, and Anirudh. And then I would come out and tell them, she's saying this about, because that time we were not sure what should we do, because it was like 4 of us traveling together. Yeah, okay, we have a picture. I was thinking in 2009, we don't have any picture together.
So
this one was during that trip, yeah.
Same trip, yeah. So this one is Anuprita on the right, Chinmay Kulkarni, Magesh, and P. Priya.
That's right.
Also a strong chess player. Wonderful. So you guys were traveling together, yeah? Priya, Chinmay, and Anuprita.
No, I think Priya
and Saimiraka were traveling together.
And me, Chinmay, Abhishek, and Anirudh, 4 of us were traveling, and Isha was supposed to join us. So 5 of us were traveling actually, but we were playing like different tournaments. But me, Chinmay, and like 4 of us were playing same tournaments, and Isha joined us later.
This was probably towards the end of it.
Towards the end, yeah.
Yeah, I think we went to their apartment, ate some really good food, and probably left them without any food, and then walked off to the beach. So
nice.
So this was the last.
Yeah. So then, so I think I stayed like 5, maybe 1 tournament in Magesh's apartment where Arun, Kidu, and Magesh were staying. And yeah, like he said, the first day I was trying to be nice and cook for everyone. And then he comes in. So that was our first conversation. And he's like, oh, you don't know how to cut onion. And I'm like, I know. But he's like, no, I'll show you how all the chefs cut onion. And I thought, oh, very good. He knows cooking and all. And I was like, and the next incident showed me like how their knowledge was in cooking. So then he cut the onion, and then I made a dal. And they're like, oh, how come your dal is so good? And then I was like, what do you mean? So what happened is apparently for a month, they all were trying to cook a chana dal, thinking that's a tur dal, 3 of them. And they were like eating like that for like a month, and they couldn't believe that dal can be cooked at this consistency. And I told them, okay, that's not the dal we use. So it's a tur dal.
Actually, the best part of that is one day I I walk out of the room, and then Anu sitting there and drinking coffee. I'm like, how did you get coffee? She's like, you have coffee. I'm like, no, we don't have instant coffee. The coffee that we have, it doesn't work. We tried it. Right? And she's like, what are you talking about? Right? So apparently what we did was we got coffee. And of course, the label is all written in Spanish. We don't understand what it is. And then when we came home, we put coffee, and instead of putting sugar, we actually put salt.
Oh.
And then we drank the coffee, and it tasted terrible. And then we thought, right, logically, we thought, okay, this has to be the fault because the coffee is not right.
Yeah.
And then we put that coffee aside for like a month until she came in and she drank coffee. And so we were like, wow. So with the dal and the coffee, and we were like absolutely dysfunctional in that house.
Yes, but other than that, I was just watching him because I had no idea, because all of them were talking in Tamil. And I remember one thing was like, they used to put this something like Yaksha's question or something in the morning.
Oh, that was Arun.
That was Arun.
It was so funny. He gets up in the morning.
Yeah.
It's called Yaksha Prashna, if I remember right. I think it's a question. I mean, it's one of those, I think about Mahabharata. I don't remember the background of it. But it's usually a philosophical question for which Krishna answers or something like that. So he would play that, and we would have debates on it. So it's me, Kirambi, and Arun debating about these things, and Arun will lose her mind. Like, what are these guys doing?
So they have a round to play, nothing. Okay, they'll be like fighting to the core in the morning, saying how this is right, wrong. And after they cannot come to any conclusion, he'll come inside. He'll like, come out, I have to ask you a question. I'm like, I am not answering for any Yaksha's questions here.
So when you saw all of this happening there, you were like, seems like a weird guy, yes, Anuprita?
Totally weird, yeah. I mean, for
my own space. I was like in my own space, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I liked him, and then I think he went to Scotland or somewhere to play. And yeah, this is where. So then we all went to Paris. So we had like 7 days in between the next tournament. So 5 of us went to Paris.
This one,
That's
yeah.
another. So actually 2000. Yeah, this one. Yeah.
But here
So
you
Isha
are.
met us in
You
Paris, I
are.
think.
Which year is this?
This is later. That one is 2011. So that
This one's
one
after we
after.
got
Yeah.
into the relationship. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
obviously the way we.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
what happened between 2009 and 2011 that you guys started standing so closely together?
So
Yeah. So that's.
Chinmay is gone. If you notice, he was the one.
Oh, we should get Chinmay. Chinmay is here on the
Oh.
left.
And well, yes, and also in the previous picture, he was the one in the middle of me and Anu, right? So I was joking.
Yeah, no, but in general, I mean, they are Anu's closest friends. Yeah, Chinmay, Aniruddha,
Yes.
in this picture, Isha Karavade and also Abhishek Kelkar. These are your best friends in Pune. and
Yes.
you always
If
used
you're
to
any
come.
one of them, if any one of them is here, I'm going to be there. You're going to have a lot more fun in this fight.
Yeah, I was actually thinking, they should be here more than anyone else because they have seen
I will be
like so many dialogues. Just yesterday, they were messaging me saying, "Say the truth, otherwise we are going to put in a chat." I'm like, I am always going to say the truth. So, in 2009, when we went to Paris, I think Isha noticed something wrong, and she's like, "What's wrong with you?" Because apparently I was not talking like the way I normally talk, and I'm like normally chill. And then she asked me, and then I told her, I've been hearing about this guy for like past 1 month, and I saw him for like 5 days, and I think I like him. And she's like, okay. And then we all had like, then total discussion was only on Magesh, all 5 days of Paris. We'll
Wow.
go to all like these famous places. We'll take our photos, we'll sit there, and we're like, okay, what do we do next? And then we came up, then they're like, okay, Isha is like, yeah, we'll just go ask him. Okay, we like you. Do you like us or not? I'm like, and if he says yes, yes. If he says no, no. And I'm like,
So actually, at this point, the story takes two different turns. My life is going in a different direction. Her life is going in a different direction.
Yeah.
yeah. So this is all like going in like. So we thought, okay, this is not the bad thing to do because instead of him not knowing that I like him, it's at least better to just say I like him. So we came back from Paris, and then I told Sai Mira that I like him and I'm going to ask, and she's like, no, you don't ask, me and Ravi will talk to him. And I'm like, no, let's just get over with this, let's just ask him. And she actually didn't let me ask him. And then I went back to India, and then actually I got to know I think later, it's much later probably, I got to know the reason why she was not letting me ask is because he was committed somewhere else, I think. And I didn't know that.
So that was a twist in my story on the side. Yeah, but I did get to know a little bit, I think through Samiraka, that at some point that Anu might be interested. But yeah, I had a commitment and I was not there at the time.
So this was roughly around 2010, yeah, when you were
2009.
2009.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you were committed and you were having a serious relation. Then how did you guys end up together? What happened next?
So what happened next? So there is a part when she goes and talks to her dad. You have to hear that.
Yeah. So what happens? And in this meantime, I don't know that he's committed, right? So I come back from Spain, and then I'm very close to my parents, and it's like pretty chill at my home. So I tell my dad and mom, I showed Magesh's photo, and I said, I like this guy and I want to marry him.
Okay.
And my dad didn't say anything. He just went to balcony and he was sitting there for like 4 hours.
Really?
And after 4 hours, he came in and he's like, okay. My dad has never said no for anything. So he came and he's like, okay, so did he talk to his parents, and so are you guys sure? And I'm like, he doesn't know that I love him. I just want to marry him. My dad is like,
imagine the look on his face.
so
If
for
it
4 hours,
was-
my dad might be thinking,
If it
how
was
to
just
approach this.
on Anu, then she would have taken a picture of Magesh and also got married, and Magesh would not even have known about it. Yeah.
That was close to what was happening.
Amazing.
So
Yeah.
yeah. then then my dad was like, then my brother was in US at that time, so we told him, and he was also okay. But then when they all got to know that Magesh has no idea about this, they were like, seriously, when who comes home and says that I like this guy and I want to marry this guy? Then I think in between I was just in touch with Sai Mira saying, are you did you talk to him? Because I had no idea, right, like what is happening in his world. And then I went to play Chennai Open, and me and Amruta were coming back. So I don't know if you know this story. So, and then we were just talking about like common friends, and she was just, for some reason, she just started. She said, you know what, we have to find someone new for you. We cannot say Magesh anymore. And I'm like, why? And she's like, oh, he's committed now and it's over. And I was like shocked. Okay. I was like, how did that happen? I mean, I don't even know this, right? And she has no idea that what is happening in my life that time.
Correct.
Even though she was close to me. And I remember we got down on Pune station, and Amruta left, and I was sitting on the station for half an hour because I had no idea what is happening in his life. And for like all along, I'm thinking, okay, we'll ask him one day and it's all good and we'll get married.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I remember like from the Pune station until my home, I was like listening that Tanhai song on repeat. Dil Chahta Hai.
And it's actually quite sad, yeah.
effect on her.
Yeah, it's quite sad because here is Anuprita very much in love, wants to come and say something, and then she realizes that no, Magesh is committed somewhere else. It would be heartbreaking.
Yeah, and then okay, then I came back, and then I think I just stopped all this thing, and I just wrote an email to him saying, I think you know about this. Let's just keep it between us. I mean, knowing the chess field, if it goes out, I didn't want all that sort. And then he said, yeah. And then he actually told me that he's committed and stuff, and he said good luck, and we decided to move on and stuff. There is one funny story in between. My mom believes in one of the face readers. So in 2009, when I came back, my mom actually took Magesh's photo, and then she actually believes a lot on him. So he actually said that, you are going to get married to this guy. And I kind of believed it. And when this happened, I went to him. So I thought, okay, now I have to tell him, right? This is not happening. He is like already committed.
Yeah, the
and I
face
went
reader.
to him again saying,
you are a fake face reader. You said that this is going to happen, but this is not happening. Something like that. Yeah, you are angry.
yeah. So I went again to him, and he's kind of like family. I call him Mama. So I told him, okay, you said that I'm going to get married to him, and he's like, it's committed. And then he's like, this marriage is not going to happen. Just go. And I was like, okay.
Really?
Well, you have to understand not the marriage.
Like not my marriage, like his commitment.
My
whatever.
commitment was not going to happen, and he said that we are going to end up together.
We're going to end up together. And then I went back, and in all this, then I was pretty upset. Then I think my brother called me back to US, and he's like, send her to US and let her play some tournaments. And then I met some boys here because they started looking for marriage alliances. They are like, okay, she's crazy, we have to move on. So I remember I met like a few guys here in US. I was talking. Then all my brother's friends, they were trying to convince me, saying it's just not possible. How this guy doesn't even know you. There is no way you will marry him. Like, just move on.
But in
And
your
all
heart,
this happened.
Anuprita, you felt like there is some hope still, yeah?
Not really. I mean, not after I got to know that he's committed. I was like, okay, move on.
No, but she was still not moving on though.
Yeah, I was not
So-
ready to move on, but but yeah,
She still had hopes for me. Yeah.
So where's the next twist now? So basically,
So-
yeah, what happens next?
Yeah. So I think this story will come to a point where when she was looking for everyone, like looking for an alliance or something, I sent an email reaching out to her
Really?
to say, "Do you want to talk?"
Oh, wow.
So that was like the big twist. But what happened from my end was obviously I was in a committed relationship that broke off, and I was moving on, and I was traveling, playing chess tournaments, and just really kind of enjoying life. I was teaching a few hours here, and by then I already started teaching, and so yeah, I was very clear on a couple of things though at that point, because I had felt like my previous relationships have made me learn a few things. So the one thing, I was against two things. One, I didn't want to get involved in a long distance relationship, right? I was like, okay, it's not going to work. You need to meet someone in person. This online chatting, calling is not going to work, right? The second thing I decided is it's very difficult to talk to someone when they are being under pressure to get married, right? So I feel like you should get to know someone and talk to someone, not constantly thinking about marriage. Obviously, it's going to happen, but thinking about that immediately from the first day that you're seeing, I didn't like that idea, right? So I had only these two rules to think of. Okay, this is what my next relationship has to be. And now,
So what are the two rules again? If we put them in short, one is that it shouldn't be marriage.
No long distance.
No long distance. And
no long distance relationship. The second thing has to be no immediate pressure for marriage.
Okay.
Like
From
the first meeting should not be about should I decide to get married. So the funny part is she was in both those situations.
Yeah, so he was in US, I was in India, and my parents were already looking for marriage alliances, and he didn't want that. So I think for like a year, Sai, Mira, and Ravi were talking to him, saying, just talk to her, just talk to her.
No, we would have casual conversations. I would be talking to Ravi and Miraka. I was alone. I would call them and talk to them about so many different things. At different times, they would simply say, why don't you talk to Anu? She has been interested in you. Why don't you talk to her and see what's going on? And every single time I would think, this is again going to lead to same kind of problems for me. And I don't want to,
Yeah.
I really liked her, but I didn't want to do it because I felt like it's not going to work out because of my rules.
And
But one of those days, I don't know why. I really still to this day don't know why. I finished the conversation with them and they asked me the same thing, said, why don't you talk to her, see what happens, right? And for some reason that day at the end of the call, I thought, maybe I'll talk to her, see what happens. And that is the day I emailed her, and apparently that's the same day she was about to move on.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I was playing. So when Amruta told me that Magesh is committed was like a year before Chennai Open. And the next Chennai Open, I was staying in Sai, Mira, and Ravi's house. And I told them, I saw one guy, I liked him, and I think I'm ready to move on.
Oh.
And I was showing him the photo of that guy saying, that's fine, and I knew they are somewhere talking to Magesh even then. And I was trying to tell them it's okay, just leave it. I don't think this is going to happen and this. And I showed them the photo of the other guy whom I was talking for some time and I liked him. I was like, okay, let's just try to take it to next step. And the same day I get an email from Magesh saying, it's been a long time, how are you doing? And I'm like, okay.
Well,
I'm not going to let
it
you
was
go
just
that easily.
like, matter of couple of days, like everywhere. Because if he didn't send
My
a
timing was
message,
impeccable, yeah.
Anu would have gone ahead with someone else.
Exactly. My timing worked out beautifully. But of course, I timed it to perfection to only mess up more. So what happened was, of course, we started talking, and now the conversation started building, and we were talking, we were enjoying.
Weather reports. First two conversations about weather reports. How is the weather in US?
I think weather and movies are like the
weather
most
and movies, yeah.
usual awkward, uncomfortable
conversation.
So we read some of those emails now. It's so funny.
Yeah, we read our own emails and we laugh. We are like, oh my God, we just cannot believe we wrote this.
Yeah.
So, but what happened was when we were chatting, I was again getting this increasing feeling that I'm actually holding her, right? And I either have to make a decision, or I have to. Either I have to move on and say, okay, yes, we'll get married and move on, or I have to say no and move on, right? So I was increasingly getting that feeling that I'm holding her. So at some point, I think this was also a little bit of my life crisis or something, I don't know, because in the middle of my teaching year, I emailed my, I was working for a place called Dean of Chess. He's an international master in New Jersey, Dean Ippolito. So I kind of emailed them saying, listen, I want to take off. I've been teaching, but now I want to take some time off. So out of nowhere. So I remember this very clearly. This was actually when India won the World Cup.
This was, yeah.
India won the World Cup. We all friends went to celebrate that night. We in Times Square. We were all enjoying, having a great night. And the next morning, I got up and said, I'm going to take a time off from my job and go to India.
Oh, yeah, I remember. His brother was shocked because the day before he was like enjoying partying with them. And next day he wakes up and he told his brother, I'm leaving.
I wanted a soul-searching trip. And I also wanted to kind of decide on Anu because I didn't want to hold that thing off. So I said, okay, listen, let's go to India. I'll come to Pune. I'll see you. and then we'll, kind of make a decision. This is what I had in my mind, right? So like, I'm going to meet her, I'm going to talk to her, we'll make some kind of a decision, hopefully, right? And while I was planning and I was talking to some of my friends, and then I also realized, some conversation brought to light to me saying that how will I decide if I want to marry someone in 5 days? Yeah, that's really not going to going to happen. So slowly my mind started playing some things to say I was in a negative tone at that point. I was thinking, this is probably not going to work. So I will go, I'll meet, one way or the other, at least I'll end this. So I started thinking like that to say, okay, in 5 days, what am I going to change? It doesn't seem like it's a reasonable timeline. It's not like, what is that movie? Madhavan's movie only, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Minale,
Yeah. So, so then he told me he's coming to India, and from until then, there was no talk of him coming to India. And suddenly one day I got a call and he said, I'm taking a flight. And I'm like, where? And he's like, I'm coming to India. And I'm like, why? He's like, no, I just quit my job here and I want to do something. So he came to India, and then he was, I think for 1 month, he was roaming around doing whatever he wanted to do.
I was kind of traveling. I was trying to do some, I was in Amar Seva Sangam. I was trying to do some service. I was trying to kind of explore myself a little bit.
And then he said he's coming to Pune. And then I thought, okay, if he's coming to Pune, I thought, okay, now he's coming to say yes, right? I had no idea that he's thinking in negative way about all this.
Really?
Because by that time, by that time we were almost talking for like year, we would talk every day. But I don't think anyone knew other than I think Chinmay, Abhishek and Aniruddin, Isha. No one had a clue that I'm talking to him for like last 1 year. And I was like, okay, so I told my parents, Magesh is coming. And so I called him and I said, yeah, come home and stay. And he was like shocked. It's like, why would I come to your home?
Actually, yeah. I mean, my dad, my mom, they're actually quite progressive, but I just realized how progressive they are. I mean, in general, I think you've been going out. I mean, we progressive, not enough to have a girlfriend or open conversation about it in my place in Madurai, in Chennai. It was not that open, right? So if I had to meet a girl, obviously I had to meet a girl without telling my parents.
Oh yeah, so I think we booked IPL in Mumbai. So I think that's what you said.
That was my cover. I basically told my parents, I'm going to go watch IPL. I want to watch Sachin play, and I might miss the opportunity, so I need to do that. And when I had a friend in Pune, so I said I'm going to visit my friend in Pune, and then I'm going to go there. But closer to the date, she tells me, come home and stay at home. And that's when I was like getting the shock of my life. And like, your parents know that I'm coming?
Yeah, so he thought that he's coming. No one knows that he's coming. We both will meet in this. But I didn't know that. I just told my parents that Magesh is in. They're like, yeah, let him just come and stay here. So I'm like, okay. And then he's like, he was convincing me for 2 days saying, I don't want to come to your home. Then one of our relatives has a hotel in Pune. So I was like, okay, come. You stay in my mama's hotel if you're not comfortable to stay at home. So he just stayed there, I think, in my mama's house. And then I went to pick him up on the airport. I went with, like
flowers
a gift, flowers and all.
Wow.
Okay, this is the part again. I'm going to come out as a jerk. So just again, a disclaimer.
So you go to the airport with all the flowers and gifts and all, and Magesh is like, what? Why did you get all this?
I had paid
I didn't bring anything for her. That was, of course,
because mostly he came to say no, right? So I think
no, actually, I wouldn't say no, but I was kind of shifting towards it. I would not say entirely I'd made up my mind, but clearly I was in a negative mindset at that point. Yeah. So when I basically walked in, I didn't take any gifts, nothing. I just walked in. She would like I said, bouquet and and she had actually she made a collage
yeah,
of all my pictures, and I was actually feeling very bad when I saw that I didn't bring anything for her.
And then we all were together for 5 days because everyone was thinking, okay, he's going to say yes this. And then one day I think we all went to play table tennis, like Isha, Chinmay, Aniruddha. Then second day we went to see IPL. Then third day, okay, and he's not saying anything, like no, yes. And then I remember at one point Chinmay got very angry, so after Magesh left, they all came to my home and he's like, we'll go to his hotel. I'm gonna ask him what is. So he was like total, Mumbai style dialogue. He's like, आके यहाँ पे रह रहा है, फुकट में खा रहा है हमारे साथ खाना वगैरह. इसको पूछते हैं कि हाँ बोलने वाला है, नहीं तो बोलो जाओ निकलो पतली गली से, हमारे पास टाइम नहीं है. So because everyone was so angry for like 3 days, we all are waiting. He's going to say something. He's going to say something, and nothing. Okay, he's like just going around with us.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, the final twist and turning point in my decision actually came when I basically meeting her folks. I felt like their home when I somehow went there, met them. I just felt super comfortable, and I mean, I already liked her, but so the final decision was basically that I really liked her, her place, her home, her parents, and how she was living her life. I felt it was very genuine and nice.
So you came to say no, but when you saw everything, it converted into a yes.
Yes, it became a yes.
Wow.
But now I should just say a yes and left, and that's where I pulled my...
No. So I didn't know he's going to say yes. The 4th day he comes to my house again for breakfast. By that time, he was very comfortable with my parents. And then he comes and tells my parents directly, I am ready for marriage. And I'm looking at his face saying, you should have at least told me this first, before telling my parents that, okay, it's yes. And I'm like, okay. And I just heard that. Then I just texted everyone, you know what? He came home and he said it's yes. And then I think he had a flight in the evening. So he's like, he asked my mom and dad that he wants to get something for me. So then we went out for shopping, I think. And then we did shopping. And after that, I went to drop him to airport.
Should we leave this part out?
No. And then my parents were super excited. So they called my mama. Then everyone came with, it's like typical Indian way, it was like all over in my like relatives that like my marriage is fixed. And then I go to, I don't think even my friends know this story. So I went to drop him to airport, and then everything was nice. I was very happy that finally after like 4 years it's going. And then we were laughing a little bit because his parents have no idea, right? Now, again, here also, right? He will do like extreme things. I mean, he didn't talk to his parents. They have no idea. And he's basically told my parents, I'm going to marry her. Okay. Now, next part is like how to tell his parents. And when we go to airport, he's like, I just want to clarify one thing. I just want to tell you the truth. And I'm like, okay. So he's like, I don't love you or anything. It's just that I like you. And
What?
I think this is going to work out.
What?
I am going to agree that was a total jerk move.
Oh, Magesh, you like from GM moves, you made a unrated move, yeah?
I know, it's a very, very bad move. I have acknowledged that since then. No, the point is, I was always about being honest about how I felt. And at this point, of course, I'm mature enough to understand this is not really an honesty I needed to tell her.
Yeah, so
because this is nothing but hurt, yeah. But my point was basically my decision was actually more practical at that point, and I was trying to convey that to her because I had decided that okay, this is going to work out because the girl is nice, the family is nice, it's going to work out, but not necessarily because I'm madly in love with her.
So he just wanted to tell this to me, and I'm looking at his face saying, then who asked you to come and say yes to my parents? We could have taken more time. And now I'm at a place saying like my all relatives know that my marriage is fixed, and this guy says he doesn't love me.
But I was still standing by my decision to marry you.
So he left, and then I was against.
So this love, did it start growing at some point, or how was it?
Well, my calculations were perfect. Yes, of course. So it worked out. So if you think about it, for me there was nowhere to go but to go up. My left for her there was nowhere but to go down. she was at her peak of her love, so there's nothing more I can expect of that.
Wow.
Yeah. Then I think I had a ticket booked to Europe again to play tournaments. But he said, I'm going to leave now, and he was supposed to go back from Europe to US. So we decided to tell his parents, and then
my mom had asked me one thing actually. So she was like, everything is okay, but you should try to marry a Tamil girl. This was that. So when I went and told her, she was like, I asked you only one thing. I was like, listen, I cannot help it. And my dad, so it was funny because my dad, at that point, I was already like my previous commitment and other things. My dad was actually involved in some things, and he was actually, we had some discussions and arguments about my previous commitments. So my dad at this point didn't want to ruffle feathers with me anymore. So he was like, whatever you decide, I'm going to go by that.
Yeah, so I think then I went to Chennai, and first we went to his dad's office, and then I met his dad first. And then, very nice people, I have to say that his parents, his dad told me clearly that his mom is, from her side, it's no. And I was like a little bit worried to go to his house and meet his mom. And then we went to Magesh's house, and I knew that she doesn't want this marriage, but she was super nice to me. Like I entered the home, and the meal she cooked for me, I could never imagine, someone who doesn't want this marriage to happen. She was super nice to me. She was like telling me, what do you like? Eat this, that. And then we had a food. And after that, I remember 4 of us sat. Nothing like shouting or this, saying no marriage, nothing. So I remember his mom, dad, and me and Magesh sat, and then his mom was just asking me questions saying, do you really think it's going to work out? And our language is not same. It's not going to, I think it's not going to work out. So she was very polite in saying. And so I just told her, I think it will work out. And I told her, I think that's the day I told her I learned Tamil, which I'm still learning.
Yeah, she made a fake promise.
I didn't make a fake promise. I learned Tamil, okay?
So she promised, I still joke about it. My mom still jokes about it because she said she's going to learn Tamil before marriage or something like that, which never, of course, happened.
She knows.
I did it.
Do you know some Tamil?
She can understand and speak.
I cannot talk.
Can you say something?
Yeah,
Can you say something in Tamil?
No.
Go on.
No.
Prove that you learned Tamil.
Say something to Magesh's mom on record. Yeah, on the camera.
Let's go.
No, I understand everything. I have
can
to
talk
tell you
better Marathi.
Yeah, he can talk better
Meeku
Marathi.
chane.
Magesh speaks better.
Not bad.
So, now we are at a point like both our families speak in their own language, and I can watch Tamil movies without subtitles, so I understand. But only thing is I just cannot talk. He talks also Marathi, so
I wouldn't say I talk fluent. I can understand and I can talk a little bit.
But you talk better than my Tamil, like what I talk. So he's in that sense better, I think.
Yeah.
But I did it, okay? It was not a fake promise. I came back, but his mom didn't say yes though. So that happened. I met his parents. Then I think we come to 2011 Paris. So in our mind, our marriage was fixed. The only thing was not fixed that time is we still have to get a yes from his mom.
But I was, I told her very clearly, my mom is going to say yes, don't worry about it. Because I was always thinking, my dad is a little bit more stubborn in these things. If he had said no, I think we could think. But my mom was, eventually it's going to be a yes. By the way, this picture in Paris, like,
now I understand.
If you look at my shirt.
But now I understand this picture. How you are so close.
But, they made me wear. So they told me that they were going to go that night to
This is Arun's shirt, by the way.
But yeah, they made me wear a glittery shirt. I was wearing that and roaming around Paris during the day. So, and of course, Arun always makes me do silly things and laughs at me. So
no, that whole thing was silly totally, like 6 of us are planning to go out. In between, everyone had their different plans for like an hour. Okay, we all decided to go out, and then Magesh, I didn't know that he had booked some dinner for both of us, and I'm like, from somewhere. Okay, 6 of us are going out. Then Arun didn't know what to do, so he was getting his sketch done on the river, and I remember he paid some like 100 euros. And I got a heart attack. I'm like, I'm gone for like an hour with Magesh and you paid 100 euros for getting that sketch. You should have paid only 30 euros. And he's like, it's okay, I didn't know. Then, I have to tell everyone that Sagar's wife Amruta was in that trip. And
this is the place where we get ready for the next story.
Yes. So Amruta was there in that trip. And when me and Magesh were out, she was sitting on the river, and guess what she was doing? She was writing a letter to Sagar. Sitting there.
Oh, I feel so good. Amrita always used to tell me I wrote a love letter sitting on river, Sean, thinking about you. And I used to say, no, I don't believe you. But okay, now I have proof.
you can believe her, and we witnessed it, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
And yeah, so we come back from dinner, and then in 1 hour, so many things have happened, right? Arun comes back with his sketch. Amruta is writing her love letter. Like we all go there. I don't remember what Akash and Sohan were doing. They were all over the place. So we had decided like around 7 o'clock we'll come back and meet each other. So yeah, that's when this photo was taken. I think one of them took it. Yeah, this was the group again in 2011.
This was the
Battle,
next
yeah.
the trip. Yeah, this we had. So 2009 was a very memorable trip, and this so was 2011.
2011.
And this
yeah.
was we had a like a big road trip. We went to like 4 or 5 countries. I think in a car that would not go over 100 kilometers per hour.
I remember Amruta was so mad.
Yeah. She told
Yeah.
me. She told me one of like you were going at a steep slope, and suddenly Magesh went off to sleep, and the lives were in danger.
That was a different. So you actually there
No,
are two
no.
stories there. The steep slope was like we reached our hostel where we were staying. That was at 3 in the morning, and I was not good at driving stick shift. I was used to driving automatic in US, but the rental car was a stick shift, and I'm always scared when I'm in one of these slopes. Even in India, I really feel very nervous when I'm like this because I feel like the car is going to go back.
Yeah.
And this time, the only difference is we're on the top of a hill.
Top of a hill, okay. And then we went for some concert or something, and on the way back we were like almost all of us were sleeping, and Akash was trying to keep Magesh up.
Akash was scared so
Yeah, Akash was scared so much, he was like continuously singing. He's like, Magesh bhai sona mat, chalate rehna, we have to reach. And then I remember our hostel was like on the hill, almost on the hill, and we go there, and one point we realized that the road is narrow and we are on the steep, and then now if Magesh doesn't take car forward, we basically all are going to fall down. Okay, so he is just putting his leg, and then everyone got up because everyone is like, okay, that's it, I think it's
No, but
over.
that was a separate time from this. This is Monterey Jazz Festival.
No, this is same, I think.
No, but the reaching the hills driving, that was when we reached the place, and this was after the Jazz Festival.
Yeah, and then Magesh was like, you know what? I'm not confident. You all get out of the car. So if something happens, only I'll go down. And then that was like total movie story. And Akash is like, nahi, jayenge to sab jayenge. Chalo, जोर से दबाओ accelerator.
Amazing.
All this drama for driving a stick shift.
No, tremendous. And by the way, this photo here is basically Magesh winning a tournament there and getting a prize as a painting. Yeah, and we have Amruta on the left, Sohan Fadke, Anuprita, Magesh, Akash, and Aniruddha. Very, very nice memory. Yeah, Magesh, to win with your girlfriend, or you can say almost near wife, being there. I mean, it's a great feeling.
Absolutely, this tournament was. I mean, I've always felt I played well when I was in a happy place. So I think I was, of course, I was in cloud 9 at that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I won that painting, and actually Barcelona has been a great place for me. I've always done well. So the funny thing is, when we are together, I feel a lot more relaxed and I play the best. The funny thing for her is she's always very nervous about my game.
Yeah, because he's always playing in like 3 seconds, 5 seconds. I'm like always watching it. I'm like, press the clock, it's 3 seconds. I'm like, he is totally like Amruta. I used to get this heart attack seeing Amruta, She'll wait until 1 second to make a move. I'm like, it's okay, done thinking, press the clock.
Yeah, but I think Magesh, Anuprita always cares for you so much. Like she, even in a tournament, she's more worried about your result than her own. Yeah, something like that.
But if I agree to that, it sounds like I don't care for her enough. So, so I'm going to look for an alternative theory on that.
Well, okay, and so the next is
I think
basically
people are thinking that you just got the painting. There was also a cash prize, guys. Not just that painting, he also got a cash prize with that painting.
Yeah, of course, it was a big event in Barcelona which he won, and so I guess that was like your. So eventually, Magesh, your mother did come around and say yes.
Oh yeah, there is a funny story. So his mom and dad came to Pune after I came back from Europe, and then they were staying with us, like my parents and me, for like 3 days. And his dad was saying, she will say yes, she will say yes. And for every day will be like, okay, today might be the day when she'll say yes, right? But his mom didn't say yes. Then one day she told me, can you call Magesh on Skype? I want to say something. So I said, okay. I call Magesh, and then his mom tells Magesh, if you cross 2700 to rating 2700, I'll say yes for marriage.
2700 थोड़ा ज्यादा हो गया.
Yeah. So I basically told my mom, listen, if you don't want me to get married, say no. Don't give me such tasks.
Oh yeah, for viewers, 2700 is like a very high rating in chess.
This is Chess-Based India viewers.
I mean, those who are not chess players and watching,
they would know Chess-Based India viewers.
It was not possible to get that rating in that time frame. So we were laughing, we were like, this is an amazing way to say no for marriage, She's directly not saying no. She's like, okay, get the rating to 2700 and then I'll say yes.
But then eventually in 2012, you got married?
That's right, yeah.
She said yes. I mean, right the next day she said yes. So she was like joking.
And I can see myself on the extreme left. So
yes, I was going to say.
Yeah.
I see you and Amrita.
You and Amrita,
Amrita, Prathamesh. There is Ketki, who is a very good friend of Anuprita, and there's Prathamesh, Amrita's brother. Then Akash, who is the tallest guy always. Magesh, Anuprita, Chinmay, and Chinmay's friend. There is Panaga, yes, over there.
Yeah,
Panaga, Sneha, Abhishek, and Anirudh. Very, very nice chess group.
Isha was not. Yeah, I think Isha was missing. I think Meenakshi got married on the same date. I think Isha was in her marriage that time. Yeah, I think she's the only one missing.
So this was 5th of February. Somewhere in February. Yes.
No.
Yeah,
third.
3rd February.
I came prepared. I confirmed today morning.
Yeah, today morning we wake up and he's like, when is our anniversary? Is it 2nd Feb or 12th Feb? And I started laughing. I said, none of them is 3rd Feb. At least on live stream, make sure you have the right date.
Well, and here they are, a wonderful couple. Finally, after all the ups and downs, they came together in 2012. What a fantastic love story, actually. And it was so much on the edge every time, like it could have just ended, but you guys were destined to be together. That's what we can say.
Yep. I think it was meant to be.
Yeah. And it's been 8 years now. 8 years since you guys are together, and I must say that you both came together because of chess. And once you came together, you actually made chess your life. Yeah, you're completely involved with chess.
Absolutely. This is actually what when my mom was asking her also, right? Because like when we don't have a connection of language and other things, the first thing that I was thinking was, we have a big connection. Even now we talk about it because there are things maybe in Marathi that, maybe a poem or something that I cannot enjoy with her, and same thing for me with Tamil, right? But we enjoy chess so much together because there are chess references and chess. Basically, like you said, our life is filled with chess teaching, chess playing, chess stories. So we definitely enjoy that connection. I mean, if we don't have the chess connection, that would have been lost. But I guess that's the case for everything, right? So it's really good.
It's
but
so beautifully put by you, Magesh. So beautifully put that when language is not the connection, that there's the caste is not the same. What connected the two of them was actually chess. I mean, that's what I believe makes the story so special. It's brilliant.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think there was one funny question that I always had, which I think I'm very safe to say I can answer now. Yeah. When we got married, the one biggest fear for me was, what if I was bored?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, nobody asked this question, but what if at some point I get bored of you and you get bored of me,
Yeah, what's the answer to this? What's the answer?
I'm not. I'm very happy.
It's not. I mean,
I think she is a little bored. So.
Yeah, just 3 days back he told me that I'm still not bored. I'm so surprised. I'm like, okay, good. It's going strong so far.
Now tell us a bit about the work that you guys are right now doing together, because this is like your love story was successful, but I think also professionally you guys are extremely successful in your career. You have built up a fantastic chess academy in the US called Chess Kings and Queens. Uh, Really, some very good partnership. Yeah, both of you have worked together in this.
Yeah, well, again, we're just lucky. Yeah, we're lucky that we are having
Yeah.
this. This is going good. But actually, until I got married, for some reason, I was not motivated to do to do much. It all happened after marriage that I started an academy, and I mean, I guess for most people that's the case. You just has some kind of feeling to do something. I was very nomadic before that. But yeah, we started the academy. We started teaching at home, and like you said, it's good because we have a good skill set that works well, and we at this point basically teach chess. We don't, I mean, she has kind of stopped playing. I really want her to play. The first 2 years of
Same
our
with me,
marriage, I
yeah.
was
Same.
really,
Magesh, I'm in the
yeah.
same boat. If you can convince Anu to play, please tell me how you managed it. I'll do the same with Amruta then.
Yeah. The thing is, I think she is a lot more prepared, right? The problem is she likes to go in prepared. She likes to, it's always been the case. I'm sure Amrita is the same thing. Right? So I have always been like, get up with it and go on with it kind of a thing. So I
Yeah.
don't, so I kind of adapted a little bit easier to say, okay, this is all I have. I will play like this, right? I might not prepare at all. I'll go play a tournament. But she just doesn't doesn't like that kind of pressure and like stuff like that.
But
So,
this
but everything else is the same.
this difference in your attitudes, like you being more spontaneous, Anu being the more planned one, has actually helped you to build up this beautiful chess academy, because she takes care of all the planning related stuff, and you are like, okay, let's do this, let's do that, and it's a lot of things are happening. Yeah.
I've also toned down on my spontaneous
Yeah.
craziness now. She has brought me down to
Yeah,
to
because
level.
suddenly, yeah, he'll wake up in the morning. He's like, I have a new idea. Every morning we have new ideas. And I'm like, wait, I'm still working on your old one. I cannot have every day new idea. I understand you want to do a lot of things related to chess, but not today.
Yeah. Yeah, but overall, I think it's going amazingly well. It's going strong, and you guys have a beautiful love story. I think this stays with you forever. And we are grateful that you could come today. It's early in the morning in the US. It was 8 a.m. when you guys woke up. But thanks for sharing it, and also sharing it very truthfully. You guys just told everything as it happened.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
we can take pride on that
Yeah,
too.
but I have-
But the truth probably hurt my image a little bit.
No, fantastic,
Yeah.
and wish you all the best, guys. And I guess to all the people in the chat, if you ever go to the US, do make sure to check out Chess Kings and Queens Academy, one of the finest training centers in US. I guess now, how many students there?
We probably have about 350 students.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you guys are going strong,
Yeah.
and I think it will keep on growing in the years to come. So good luck
Thanks,
to you.
thanks,
you.
thanks,
And-
Sagar. By the way, yeah,
I-
we have to lead you on to your story. I know a lot of people want to hear your
Yes,
story, and I
so-
do too. So
Yes, so next one is going to be Sagar and Amruta. I have to tell this to viewers. I was trying to get both of them on the stream today, but Sagar did not agree, but he promised that next one is Amruta and Sagar. Okay, so next one is Amruta and Sagar.
We'll put him on the hook here.
Well, hopefully I can get Amruta to come on air. Since the lockdown has begun, she has never come on the stream. I don't know why, but well, hopefully that will happen and we can tell our story. But for now, thank you so much, Anu and Magesh, and
Thank
and
you, Sagar.
Thank you.
thanks for doing this. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Yeah, guys, that was the brilliant story of Anuprita and Magesh Chandran, and I hope you enjoyed it. It was, thrilling at every point. Things could have gone either way, but they stuck there. I mean, Anuprita was rock solid. Magesh never gave up on her, and then at the end, they are together now, building a beautiful chess academy in the US. And I think the one thing which really stuck here is, one girl from born and brought up in Sangli, the other guy in Madurai, in Chennai, and both of them having absolutely no connection of language or any of the normal things which happen in their day-to-day life. It's completely different kind of lifestyle, but chess is the thing which makes you feel so comfortable. It's like, if ever you don't know the language, you don't know the customs, the routines, whatever is happening in your family, chess is going to be there, and that will bond the two of us. And I think that's the biggest thing I can say about this beautiful game. I hope you all enjoyed it. As for my love story, I think it will happen sooner or later. Sagar and Amrita's love story will come out. Maybe we'll try to get more chess players with their very beautiful love stories. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let us know in the comment section how you found it. Chinmay Kulkarni, thank you so much for your super chat. If you are the same Chinmay Kulkarni who was the part of the story, I'm sure that you played a big role in this. So thank you, everyone. And we will be back soon with the next episode. Until then, bye bye. See you.